أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن شاء الله سنقرأ الآن الفصل الرابع في مولده صلى الله عليه وسلم. We read in this chapter the fourth chapter, which is titled في مولده صلى الله عليه وسلم, which relates to the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and some few incidents that occurred then. Imam starts that side by saying, أبان مولده عن طيب أنصره يا طيب مبتدأ منه ومختتم. Says أبان مولده. When we say بان بمعنى ظهر, أبان يأتي بنفس المعنى. أبان بمعنى ظهر عنه, أي اتضح, to become clear, to become apparent. Okay, so to give way for. All these meanings are fit for this word here. So أبان مولده عن طيب أنصره بمعنى his birth, مولده, his birth has given way for the beauty of his roots, i.e. the beauty of where he comes from. عن طيب أنصره, the birth has given way for us to see the excellence of where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asl, his, the unsur هنا بمعنى أصله. يا طيب مبتدأ منه ومختتم. He is praising the beginning of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his end as well. He's saying how beautiful his مبتدأ هنا بمعنى مفتتح, how beautiful his beginning is, and as well how beautiful his ending is. أبان مولده عن طيب أنصره يا طيب مبتدأ بمعنى the birth, how it began was beautiful, I was طيب, أي بدايته كانت طيبة جدا. عند الولادة شهد كثير من العجائب عند ولادته صلى الله عليه وسلم. So he's saying that the beginning was amazing. Likewise the mukhtatam, the ending. Okay, and then he says يوم تفرس فيه الفرس أنهم قد أنذروا بحلول البؤس والنقم. He says a day, the day of his birth, the Furs, the people of Persia, they've already done firasa about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we know the people of this, the Persian people, the Furs, they were Ahl Majus, the Ubad Nar, they used to worship fire. But these people, they already had news from their books, previous books, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be born in so and so time. And so he's saying that Yawmun bimana has al-yawm, this particular day of his wilada, that the Furus qad tafarrasa fihi annahum, they've already done firasa, and firasa is you guessing into the future, yani you scrutinizing the future and making a correct guess. That is firasa. So the Furus, the Persians, they've already looked into the future and seen that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be born at this particular time and this particular around these particular regions. And what they saw is that أنهم قد أنذروا بحلول البؤس والنقم, that they've been warned of a particular bu'us, and bu'us is some shidda في القلب, yani some severeness in the heart that makes you kind of give up. It makes insan yani ba'is, it makes you despair and lose hope, that kind of severeness and pain in the heart. They've been warned that bihulul, ay binuzul, that some particular boss is going to fall on them. One niqami, and niqam bimana jam'u niqmatun. One niqam bimana, and punishments are going to fall on them. But here from the apparent text, it looks like Imam is saying that all of them, but it is not all of them that he refers to. It means that يوم تفرس فيه الفرس أنهم قد أنذروا بحلول البؤس والنقم على الطغاة منهم. This bu'us and niqam is going to fall on those among them that were unjust. They were unjust and they were unjust and they were oppressive. These are the ones, and those who do not accept the truth. They are the ones that the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to be a bu'us, there is some severeness that affects the heart, and also it's going to be a niqam, punishment for them, because generally the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. So he is a rahmah for the ummah. But when Imam says this, he is referring to those people who were stubborn among the Majus people, the fire worshippers. So those people are those who are going to see the Prophet's birth as al-Bu'us wa niqam. And then he says, وَبَاتَ إِيوَانُ كِسْرَى وَهُوَ مُنْصَدِعٌ. أي بات هنا بمعنى صار, بمعنى it's to become. Iwan is a large palace or a large hall, a sitting area. But normally it's used to refer to a large hall that has just three-sided walls with the front side opened, with one side opened. So some places you go to some houses, the sitting room is four walls with a door. Some places you see the big house, there are just a whole opening one side, they are just three-sided, and the whole place is open that you can just go into it. So it's just three-sided walls. This is also called the Iwan. In the abiyat of Sheikh Ibrahim Anyas al-Qawlahi, he refers to this a lot in some of his abiyat. Iwanu Kisra hal dahaka wa andara. Kisra Buruzun Nabi Kisra taqahqara. He mentions this abiyat a lot. He says Kisra is also the title given to all the Persian kings. يعني لقب لكل ملك الفرس. Every king of the Persians is given this title Kisra. So it says وَبَاتَ إِيوَانُ كِسْرَى وَهُوَ مُنْصَدِعٌ. مُنْصَدِعٌ بمعنى مُنْشَقٌ. It has been split apart or ripped asunder. So بمعنى صار إيوان كسرى منكسرا. The palace or the hall of Kisra broke up. The walls cracked and broke. And then he compares that with كَشَمِلِ أَصْحَابِ Kisra. It is just like the group, the gatherings, the army of the Kisra, the people of Kisra. غَيْرَ مُلْتَئِمِ. Even the army was also divided. Multa'im, when we say something is multa'im, bimana, it has come together. It has patched. Okay. And so when he says غَيْرَ مُلْتَئِم, bimana, it is apart. It is not together. So just as the Iwan, the wall of Kisra, broke, likewise the group, the soldiers, the army, all the associations that were behind Kisra, Ashab Kisra, غَيْرَ مُلْتَئِم, they were also split asunder. They were not together. أي لم يكونوا ملتئمين. Okay. And then he says, وَالنَّارُ خَامِدَةُ الْأَنْفَاسِ مِنْ أَسَفٍ. And now Huna, he's referring to, we've already said that these people were Majus. They were worshippers of fire. And so the Annar Huna referring to the fire that they worship. Says the fire that they had the Khamidatul Anfasi. Al-Anfas bimana breath. Breath. But he uses it here majaziyan to refer to the flames of the fire. Khamida bimana dead, abated. So the fire, the breath, the flames of the fire got abated. Min asafin, due to sorrow. Yani due to what is happening. The birth of the Prophet ﷺ, it was struck by sorrow and the flames of the fire of Kisra burnt down. It says, alayhi wan naru, ay min asafin alayhi, due to sorrow over it, or due to sorrow over Kisra. It says, wan nahru sahil ayni. And their river also, the Ain of the An-Nahar is the point that the Nahar flows from. When we say Ainul Ma, we mean the point of its springing, where it springs from. So when it says وَالنَّارُ سَاحِلْ Aini, the source of the water also abated. Min sadami, ay min al-huzn, due to huzn. I mean sadumi, due to sadness. There's وَالنَّارُ خَامِدَةُ الْأَنْفَاسِ مِنْ أَسَفٍ عَلَيْهِ, the fire that they used to worship quenched due to sorrow. وَالنَّهَرُ سَاهِلْ Aini, and the water that they used to drink from and enjoy from. It is said that this Nahar is the Euphrates, Al-Furat, Nahar al-Furat. That is the Euphrates. They said that is the water that is being referred to. The water quenched completely and dried out due to sadness. And then he says, وَسَاءَ سَاوَاتَ عَنْ غَادَتْ بُحَيْرَتُهَا. سَاءَ سَاوَاتَ هنا بمعنى سَاءَ أهل ساوات. The مضاف here is محذوف وأقيم مضاف إليه مقام المضاف. the mudaf ilayhi has been omitted and the mudaf ilayhi has been placed in the position of the mudaf ilayhi. Just like the sal al-qaryata. Sal al-qaryata bimana sal ahl al-qaryati. Jamil. So when he says wasa'a sawata, Sawata is a city in Persia. So when he says wasa'a sawata bimana ahlu Sawat, the people of Sawat became bad. Their condition became very bad. Why? Angadat buhayratuha, that its lake got dried out. Nahru sahil aini, the water had quenched, and so the people became, their condition became very bad due to ghadat buhayratuha, due to the fact that their lake had dried up. ورد واردها أي ورد وارد البحيرة. Waridul ma is the person that is going into the water to drink from it. That is the warid. Warudda, to return. Ay ruja. Warudda wariduha. Anybody who wants to go to the water to drink from it is returned back bil ghaizi, with anger. Hina zomi. Hina zomi huna, the complete thing is hina zomi a, when he became thirsty. When the people became thirsty and they go to the river to fetch, they reach there and they realize that the water has dried out, and so they come back with ghaiz, with anger. That is the warudda wariduha bil ghaizi. Anybody who enters the water to go fetch it comes back angry whenever he's thirsty. He knows zomi. So it reads warudda wariduha hina zomi bil ghaizi. Anybody who goes to it when he is thirsty comes back very angry. Says كأن بالنار ما بالماء من بلل حزنا وبالماء ما بالنار من ضرب. This bait is also one of those abiyat that is arranged in some manner that you need to rearrange. It goes this way: كأن ما بالنار بالماء ما بالماء بالنار من بلل. What it means is the ma here is موصولة بمعنى الذي. كأن الذي بالماء من بلل بالنار. As if, you see, when you see the way water is already in its nature wet, says their water look as if it is wet with fire. كأن بالنار كأن ما بالنار بالماء. The way water gets wet things is as if now fire is the thing that is the one that is catching things. So that is what he means by كأن ما بالنار كأن ما كأن بالنار ما بالماء من بلل حزنا وبالماء ما بالنار من ضرب. So their water looked as if it is wet with fire due to huznan, and their water as well looks as if there is their fire as well look as if it is wet with water. So it looks like their water is dried out and their fire is also quenched. It's like they've poured fire on their water and they've poured water on their fire. That is how the bait goes like. So when you look at it, كأن الذي بالماء بالنار من بلل حزنا وبالماء أي وفي الماء الذي بالنار من ضرم. And their water is also blazing as if it is like the way fire flames. Okay, their water is hot as their fire has quenched as if it is wet with water, and their water is also hot as if it is flaming like fire. That is what he means by this bait. And then he says وَالْجِنُّ تَحْتِفُ وَالْأَنْوَارُ سَاطِعَةٌ. And at the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-jinnu tahtifu, the jinn were calling out. Ay hatafa bimana, to call out, to shout out. That is where we got hatif from, phone. It says wal-jinnu tahtifu wal-anwaru sati'atun. The jinn were shouting in celebration, and the anwar, the light, were sparkling. Sati'atun bimana lami'atun. The lights were sparkling everywhere. وَالْحَقُّ يَظْهَرُ مِنْ مَعْنًا وَمِنْ كَلِمٍ. and truth was appearing min ma'nan. You can see from the things that you are appearing, you could see that something truthful is happening today. Something is really serious, is really going on today. That is wal haqqu yazharu min ma'nan. Truth appears in terms of meaning. Wa min kalimi, and in terms of words. They've said that min ma'nan huna ay dilala ila anwar sati'atun. The light that is sparkling could show you that some truth is appearing. Zahar al-haq wal batil zahaqa. As the verse says, وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَحَقَ الْبَاطِلِ. Okay, so it says, and then وَمِنْ كَلِمِ. The kalimi here refers to the heart of the jinn, the way the jinns were shouting. That also is what it refers to with the kalimi, because that is the words of the mouth. And then it says ammu wa sammu fa i'lanul bashair lam. Ammu wa sammu here, the fa'il is the al-kuffar, the people of Majus that were in their fire worshipping. It says ammu, they were umya, they were blind, they couldn't see. وَصَمُّوا, and they were deaf. So he has already told us that وَالْحَقُّ يَظْهَرُ مِنْ مَعْنًا. Even before that, pick from وَالْجِنُّ تَحْتِفُ, that is sound. وَالْأَنْوَارُ سَاطِعَةٌ, that is alamat that we could see. So it is about two things, seeing and also hearing. So when he came, he says وَالْحَقُّ يَظْهَرُ مِنْ مَعْنًا, which is about seeing. وَمِنْ كَلِمِ, which is about hearing. Then he says, regardless of all these signs, amu, they were blind, was sammu, and they couldn't hear. Bimana, amu anil ma'ani, they couldn't see the signs. Was sammu anil kalimi, and they couldn't hear the words. فَإِعْلَانُ الْبَشَائِرِ لَمْ تُسْمَعْ. The communication of the glad tidings, al-bashair bimana bishara, the glad tidings that were given, it wasn't heard, they didn't hear it. وَبَارِقَةُ الْإِنذَارِ لَمْ تُشَمِ, and also the sparkling of the warning. بَارِقَةُ الْإِنذَارِ بمعنى the sparkling of the warning. لَمْ تُشَمِ. Tusham is from Shama. Shama Yashum Tusham. Lam Tusham. So he says, and then when we say Shama al-Barq, بمعنى شام الرجل البرق نظر إلى البرق. So he means لم تشمي وبارقة الإنذار لم تشمي بمعنى the sparkling of the warnings also was not seen. All this while he's talking about hearing and seeing. The signs came in those two ways. فإعلان البشائر, the info communication being given that a glad tidings is coming, the truth is going to be born. لم تسمع, it wasn't heard. Likewise, the barikatul inzar, the striking and the lightning of the warnings, also lam tushami, was not seen. Says min ba'di ma akhbar al-aqwama kahinuhum. Even before this, the kahin, that is the priest, the chief priest of these people, has already informed them. من بعد ما أخبر الأقوام كاهنهم, after their kahin, their chief priest, has already informed them بأن دينهم المعوج لم يكن. He already informed them that this your religion that is crooked, your fire worship religion that is crooked, لم يكن, it wouldn't stay and it wouldn't survive with the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he says وبعد ما عاينوا في الأفق من شهب منقدة وفق ما في الأرض من صنم. أي بعدما آينوا هنا, who is he talking about? He's talking about the kahin. What the kahin, the chief priest, what they saw, that is why he says وبعدما آينوا أي وبعدما رأوا وبعدما شهدوا, after what they saw في الأفق, in the horizon, من شهب, due from the shooting stars. The shuhubin is the shooting stars. That is the jinn, when they were going to steal info from the malaika from the horizon, there are shooting stars that is used to shoot at them, the meteors. When they went to steal info and they realized that they were being shot at, the jinn came to tell their kahin, the priest, that it seems our time is up. It seems we are losing this battle. And so the kahin in turn also informed the people that dinakumul mu'awwaj lam yakumi. Your religion that is crooked will not stay because time is up. بعدما عاينوا في الأفق من شهب. After what they saw, after they saw the shooting stars from the horizon. منقدة أي ساقطة. These shooting stars were shooting at them, were falling on them. وفق ما في الأرض من صنم, just like the sonam, the what do they call them? The stones they've used as gods and are worshipping. The stones are also falling, just like the shooting stars were falling from above. The gods and the things that they've created here worshipping were also falling. And sonam, we are told that it is those worship things they create to worship made of stone. And anything other than that that is not made of stone and is being worshipped is called wathan. That is just some slight difference they make. So just as the shooting stars is falling on them, likewise their deities on earth are also falling. It says حتى غدا عن طريق الوحي منهزم من الشياطين يقفو إثر منهزم. أي حتى غدا. غدا بمعنى to run or to become. غدا بمعنى أصبح. غدا بمعنى جرى. Here the meaning that fits is the صار, to become. يعني حتى غدا عن طريق الوحي أي حتى غدا عن السماء basically. منهزم. منهزم is somebody who has been defeated and is running away. So منهزم من الشياطين, among the shayateen, one shaitan that is defeated, يكفو إثر منهزم, is running after another shaitan that has been defeated. إثر بمعنى to follow the effects of. يعني if I say أنا أجري إثر قدمك, I'm running following the footsteps, your footsteps. Or إثر بمعنى وراءك. Okay. يكفو بمعنى قفا, to follow. That is why the Prophet ﷺ is called al-Muqaffa. Yani he's followed. Ay al-Muttaba. So he says that this shooting stars kept shooting at them until the munhazim min shayateen, a shaitan that is defeated, keeps running after another shaitan that is defeated. So you could see that they were running one after the other. They were running away from the tariq al-wahy, the path of wahy. كأنهم حربا أبطال أبرهة. Here we read كأنهم أبطال أبرهة حربا. It is as if these shayateen were like the soldiers of Abraha, the man who came to break down Kaaba and was running away. It is as if these shayateen that are running away, they were like the soldiers of Abraha. Abraha is the Malik al-Yaman. The kings of Yemen were named like that. So the way the soldiers of Abraha were running away, that is how the shayateen were running away from the path of wahy. He says, أو or askerun bil hasa min rahatayhi rumi, or a soldier that was the Prophet ﷺ threw a pebble at during the Ghazwat Badr. The Prophet took some pebbles in his hand and then he threw them to determine where people would die and all that. And that happened. So he says that all soldiers who were thrown, the pebbles of Rasulullah ﷺ was thrown at al-hasa bimana pebbles. Min rahatayhi, the damir huna refers to Rasulullah ﷺ, and the rahatayhi bimana the inside of your palm. The Prophet ﷺ threw these pebbles at them from the inside of his palm. And then he says, نبذا به بعد تسبيح ببطنهما. أي نبذا به, when masdar begins like this, it means that there is a jumla fi'liya. أي نبذه النبي صلى الله عليه نبذه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نبذا. So this nabzan is maf'ul mutlaq, to emphasize it. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم threw these pebbles بعد تسبيح ببطنهما, after the pebbles had done tasbih in the palm of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. نبذ المسبح أي مثل nabd al-musabbih, as like the way the musabbih. And when we say nabaza, to throw something away, the way the musabbih was thrown away by the multaqim from his belly, min ahsha'i multaqim, the way the musabbih was thrown from the belly of the multaqim. And all these are verses that we need to clarify. Al-musabbih is referring to Yunus alayhi salam, where he says, Subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. So he is referred to as al-musabbih. And then ahsha, we've already said everything that your belly contains. So basically your belly. Multaqim is the one that swallows. Iltaqama yaltaqimu ismul fa'il multaqim, the one that swallows. And that is the name of the al-hut, the fish that swallowed Yunus alayhi salam. So just like the way the fish that swallowed Yunus came to throw him away on the land, that is how the Prophet ﷺ threw the pebbles. He's just doing tashbih here. And when you look at the verses of the Quran, we see فَالْتَقَمَهُ الْحُوتُ وَهُوَ مُلِيمٌ فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ. So you see, فَالْتَقَمَهُ الْحُوتُ, the hut swallowed him. So the hut is called the multaqim. It is the one that does the swallow. فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ. If not that he was among the musabbihin, that is why he also gets the title al-musabbih. Says لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. He would have stayed in the belly of the whale till the day that we will be resurrected. Says فَنَبَذْنَاهُ بِالْعَرَاءِ وَهُوَ سَقِيمٌ. Then we threw him out on the bare land, al-ara'i, bare space. وَهُوَ سَقِيمٌ, whilst he looked sick. نَبَذْنَاهُ. So that is what Imam Busiri is saying. نَبَذَ الْمُسَبِّحْ مِنْ أَشَاهِ مُلْتَقِمٍ. He's comparing the way the Prophet ﷺ threw the pebbles to the way the fish threw him out of his mouth. This brings us to the end of this particular chapter. Of course, anything that is not well understood, we can imply and then make more clarifications, inshallah. May Allah aid us through, and may Allah grant us the pure love of the Prophet ﷺ, not based on anything that we've done and we believe we feel that we are deserving of the love of Rasulullah, but just as giving us for free, just from his rahmah, just from his mercy, just from his rahmaniyah. Should bless us with the love of the Prophet ﷺ, bless us with the love of the deen, and bless us with his love, he himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بسر اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.